I very rarely get to do conversations which are happy because of everything that's going on in the country. So I'm really happy to have this conversation today. Joining me right now is the cast or the team behind Delhi Crime after their massive Emmy win. We have Richie Mehta, the director, Shefali, Shah, who played that brilliant role of Vartika Chaturvedi, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, and Rajesh Tailang, who played the role of Bhupendra Singh. Welcome, and thank you for making time to have this conversation with us. First of all, congratulations to all three of you and the entire team. I know it was a massive, massive job that you guys did. And I know that you've had a long day of interviews. So first of all, I'll get straight to it. Richie, you did, what, four years of research before you started working on your script? What brought you to this story and why did you decide to do this one?
I had a family friend in the Delhi police. He was a former commissioner and the commissioner at the time. And I had met him in 2013 about something else. He had seen my work. He was familiar with what I was up to. And he suggested that I make a film out of this case, which I was not, I didn't think it was right. I don't think anyone should make a film. But he persisted and very wisely said, why don't you meet some of the officers involved and, you find your way to your story. It was very, very graceful how he approached it. And so I did. I met the officers involved. I met some of the real people. And especially when I met these women who had been tasked with solving this crime and succeeded, I was so moved by their vigor and their verve and how they approached things, their compassion, their motivation. It was an instance where I started to realize in the darkness of this crime, which we had all witnessed, there was real light shining. There were people who were trying to fix this problem. Again, mostly a lot of these teams led by women. And I felt that there was something really special there. There was a way to turn this around, to say, you know what, we can tell a story of deep compassion amongst this darkness.
Shefali, you've said this was a road to a lifetime for you. And I know that it would have been hard initially to decide because this was a hard topic for most women in this country. What was going through your head when you decided to take this on? What were the challenges?
Honestly, Faye, it wasn't a hard decision to make at all. In the first 5 minutes of meeting Richie Mehta, I said yes. I wanted to be a part of a story which not a lot of us knew. I wanted to be a part of, I just wanted to be a part of Delhi Crime. And I didn't have to do any thinking. I didn't even bat an eyelid. I just said yes. There were no apprehensions. There were no questions. There was no doubt in my mind whatsoever that I wanted to be a part of this. And this story needed to be told.
But was it hard working through the details? I mean, it was hard watching it because, some of those details were so, somehow, as a woman, every time someone would go through the details of the crime, it felt personal. Did it feel personal to you?
All the time. All this time. And even when the case happened, all of us took it personally. It was like a violation of our own self. It was an assault to me as a woman, to you as a woman. And even while we were doing this show, every single moment was personal. It was emotionally draining. It was, it kind of took everything out of me to, go through this whole process. Did I miss your question? Sorry.
No, you didn't. You didn't miss my question at all. And what I loved about it is, and this is a question to both Rajesh and you, we've had cop shows, cop films in the past, right? And they're very, there's a lot of violence. It's an affront to your senses. There's a lot of bad language. There's a lot of like copiness. In the way they walk and the way they handle their uniforms and things like that. This particular was missing. This show was missing a lot of that. It was more, these were more human, characters than they were cops in the sense. So was that a deliberate thing, Rajesh, in your character as well? It was a very human side. He was dealing with his daughter's sort of marriage at the same time. The body language was not what we are normally used to in India, at least seeing for cops.
Thankfully, it was like that. कि otherwise क्या है कि हमेशा मतलब cops are shown like a super cops or Simba or something like that, या फिर corrupt police officers दिखाते हैं. लेकिन human side of cops बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है. और I think this show captured that, the human behind the uniform.
और जब आप अपने कैरेक्टर के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे थे, जब आप you were preparing yourself mentally to be this person, what sort of research did you do, Rajesh?
I think it was all the things were in the script. अगर आप कोई रिसर्च ना भी पढ़ें तो स्क्रिप्ट में सब कुछ था. मतलब आप अपनी हेल्प के लिए थोड़ा बहुत और पढ़ सकते हैं, या फिर I met Rajinder Singh sir also few times. लेकिन I think everything was written in the script, and it was very easy in that manner, मतलब like research wise. But as an actor, आपको उस स्क्रिप्ट को कितनी ऑनेस्टी के साथ आप प्ले कर पाते हैं, वो चैलेंज हमेशा रहता है. तो डेफिनेटली वो कॉपीनेस हटाने का चैलेंज तो द कॉप पना जो होता है ना, पुलिस की जो ठसक होती है, उस वो वाली जो चाल ढाल वर्दी पहन के जो अकड़ होती है, वो नहीं. और उसकी वर्दी के अंदर के इंसान को पकड़ने की कोशिश थी, जो स्क्रिप्ट में मेरे ख्याल से उसका सोल ऑफ द स्क्रिप्ट इज दैट.
Or Shefali ji, even women cops, there's sort of like a typecast, right, of what women cops are like in terms of how aggressive they are and things like. This was a really aggressive character, but the way you played it was not physically aggressive, was not, it was not cop-like in some sense. Was that a conscious sort of decision, the way you used your body, the way you used your language and your words?
Faye, like Rajesh very correctly said, it was out there on the script. Richie had interacted with all the people who were involved in cracking this case personally. So yes, it's a dramatization, but the whole approach to this show, these characters, was very real. It was very real and honest and raw and gritty. There was no performance as such. I don't think there was a performance from the actors, nor the maker, not the writer, not the DOP, nowhere. It just felt like you were standing in the room and watching it unfold in front of your eyes. And as far as the anger, angst is concerned, I remember having this conversation very initially with Rishi, that there were two emotions which were predominant at that point of time. One was anger and one was pain. But the more you expose it, the more you're letting go of that power to be able to channelize it and do something about it. And that is what Vatika does. That is what Shah Sharma did. All that anger that all of us felt when this incident happened, she felt it too. I mean, we all felt the same kind of emotion and angst and the need and cry for justice. But there is this woman who channelized all of it. So there was a lot that was held back. And you could see that anger. She's seething inside, but it just got channelized into this one single focused thing of me. I want him to catch these guys. And I'm going to catch them, come what may.
Rishi, did you know that you had something special when you were at the set? So when you wrote the script, that, this is path-breaking, this is award-winning?
I mean, it was special enough for me to devote, as a subject, to devote years. I knew that there was something worth my time, my energy, and my effort to death, whatever it took. And then when the team started coming together, it was a dream team. It's the best team I could have imagined. But no, after that, you cannot, in these things, anticipate any alchemy. Just do it and do the best you can. And you have no idea how people react. You just know how you feel about it as a creator. And after that, you just watch. I'm just watching the show as well. I'm watching what's happening, and it's really something to see.
Okay, so here's the question, right? Especially when dealing with real life events, real life people. We're currently a very, let's say, for want of better words, a sensitive country. We take offense a lot to various things. Was there some nervousness of, oh, people are going to, there's going to be pushback that we've taken up this topic, put it up for the world to see again? We're opening a wound. We're sort of, depicting real life scenario. Was there ever any nervousness that you'd get some pushback?
Look, I mean, this is why it took me so long to research it. I wouldn't just gather information and write. I would gather information, write, and then evaluate whether I should proceed each time over 4 years. And in that evaluation, I'm speaking to people. I'm speaking to friends, to family, to people in the industry about it, and gauging the reaction as I speak and as I reveal what I'm doing. And over time, I started to shape the perspective of this, which again, like I said before, was about compassion. When I realized what I wanted to do, I felt the force of it, that I think all people need to do is press play, and they'll realize this is not about controversy or darkness. This is about the thing that you want in controversy or darkness, which is hope.
So where were you guys when you heard that you had won, Shefali?
I was sitting in my pajamas with my specs, watching it live, and in this AV room, which was all dark, and I was just watching this, and I wasn't breathing when they were going to open the envelope. And after that, going from not breathing to only screaming. It was quite a pendulum. And then I don't think I stopped. I'm still screaming in my head somewhere. Like, yeah. So you got to behave properly. And I've got to behave like seriously.
Well, since your character spent most of the show in sweatpants anyway. So
Exactly. And it was just complete euphoria and hysteria. And I continue to feel it. That emotion, the feeling hasn't ebbed at all.
But were you guys a little disappointed that, I mean, obviously this is beautiful that it's happened, but it's happened in a year that you couldn't be there in person. You couldn't, go up on stage and actually receive the award, which you would have done if it happened in any other year. Was that slightly cheated?
The cheating part for me, the cheated part for me is that we just can't be together. I would love to be together. I mean, that's what the world wants. We want to be together with our loved ones. And I wish I could have been with my loved ones and this loved gang, basically. That's what I feel sad about, but that's what all of humanity feels right now.
Rajesh?
Yeah, same. मतलब award से ज़्यादा हम सब लोग उस award का celebration साथ में कर रहा है. That is the.
और आप कहाँ थे? आप भी घर पे थे?
I was in Bikaner, my hometown, and in a bad network area, so I couldn't see the live streaming. तो इतना ठीक से चल नहीं रहा था. But I saw Shefali's tweet. तो वो tweet इतना network आ रहा था. तो उस
इतनी जोर से चिल्लाया ना कि वो हर नेटवर्क कॉन्टिनेंट सब क्रॉस करके चला गया.
This is so amazing. I'm curious to know what's next for you guys. How do you top this? Because this is normally what happens, right? When something amazing happens, when you're thinking, how am I ever going to top this? What am I ever going to do next? Shefali, what's next?
Well, how am I going to top this? Every single time I go on set, every single time, or whether it was DC or anything else I've done, every single day I'm sick to my stomach. I am terrified. I think the director is going to say action and I'm going to stand there dumbfounded. And I can't, like Spielberg said, the toughest part of going to set is to be able to get out of your car. And I just want to go to the vanity van, loop back home. Because I'm like, I'll just be standing there not knowing what to do. But so what I am looking forward to is there are a couple of films I'm doing which I'm excited about, and there is this other show that I'm doing for the OTT, which is produced by Vipul and is directed by Vipul Shah and Moses Singh, and it's an extremely incredible subject. It's a subject that hasn't been explored. It's a medical thriller. It talks about the underbelly of the medical world and about human drug testing in trials. And it's a character which I have never explored, and I cannot wait to dive into it.
Wow. I can't wait either. It sounds fantastic. Richie, what's next?
What is next is actually what was past things I began working on before Delhi Crime. As you know, I take years to research and write. So I'm just in that process again of picking up projects I started earlier. And it'll still be at least a year or two, at least, of research writing.
You had actually intended to do a film about rag picking in Delhi, right? Is that what you're going back to?
About rag pickers?
Yes.
Really?
I read that somewhere. Yes.
Achha?
Somebody made that up.
I did not know about this. There was an element of a film I was writing a long time ago, which had some of this. But right now, the things I'm working on are not that at all. Very different, in fact, but very, very heavy research projects. So it takes some time. We'll get there.
Rajesh, you know, the best part about OTT platforms now that we have Netflix and Amazon and all of these guys is that there are so many great characters being written, which are not sort of Bollywood, you know, hero-heroine structure. And so there's so much more room for range for an actor to like pick varied characters. Are you getting a lot of cool roles? What are you working on next? आपने क्या accept किया है अभी?
अभी एक फिल्म कंप्लीट की थी, पगलेट, वो आने वाली है जल्दी. And few more work जिसके बारे में मैं अभी ज़्यादा बोल नहीं सकता because they are just in the beginning stage. So just completed a film which will come soon.
But do you feel that there's a better range right now for actors?
Definitely, OTT platforms ने हमारे जैसे actors के लिए तो बहुत सारे दरवाजे खोले हैं. Like क्योंकि OTT का जो format है वो इस तरह का है कि उसमें सारे कैरेक्टर्स और उनकी हर एक की आर्क बन पाती है, बिगनिंग मिडिल एंड एक बन पाता है, एंड प्लॉट सब प्लॉट हर एक पे काम हो पाता है. सो मेरे ख्याल से स्टोरी डजंट ओनली रिवॉल्व अराउंड द प्रोटैगनिस्ट और बाकी कैरेक्टर्स के अराउंड भी रिवॉल्व करती है. एंड आई थिंक पीपल आर इंटरेस्टेड इन सब प्लॉट्स आल्सो, जितना OTT का देखते हैं हम सुनते हैं.
Yeah, that was actually beautiful about this script as well. The fact that all of these cops also had personal lives, you know, and the show had room for everybody's personal life. So that made them more human. Shefali, you've talked about this. The fact that for women, especially in the industry, the range of characters that are now being written is liberating.
Yes, it is. You know, in fact, there was a time, I think around the 70s, when there were a lot of films that were women-oriented.
Oh dear.
We lost.
We'll wait to get her back. But
that was very dramatic exit. Nice.
Maybe she's depicting what happened between the 70s and the last time. No, but you know, Rishi, I must ask you this. We had an incident which I'm sure you're aware of. Had to do with the Suitable Boy. There was a kiss that came up, and people, you know, filed FIRs about it. There's also, you know, the government that's moved in now to regulate OTT platforms along with films. Is there a sense of nervousness that this is maybe going to, you know, infringe a little bit on the freedom to write real characters? Because as an artist or as an writer, then what part of your brain is thinking, oh, well, this must muster with the people who are going to check it out?
Honestly, right now, I'm not worried. Look, I'm always proceeding with the best of intentions. I'm very specific about the kinds of projects I do and why I do them. And one of the reasons I choose to do the projects I do is because it fits into a certain zeitgeist of what people are talking about. Mm-hmm. So I try and gauge what's happening around me. I try and gauge what I feel about it and then talk about it. So in a way, there's an observation quality to it. And if I'm really disturbed or really angry about something like this case in DC, then I'll really do something about it. In terms of what you're talking about, I think one of the glorious things about the time we're in is that viewers have options. I think it's wonderful that they can go to a platform like Netflix and decide what they want to watch. They have parental controls, so they can control what they feel that the young people around them are watching. and that the entire world gets to see how talented Indians are at storytelling. That's also, to me, a huge, huge bonus about the time we're in. Those are the things I value right now.
Working from home, and that's my dog. But Shefali, good to have you back. You were saying that from the 70s to now, things have changed very drastically for women who are in films.
In fact, what I was trying to say is that in the 60s and 70s, there were a lot of films that were women-oriented. You know, whether you talk about Aradhana or you talk about Mamta or you talk about Mother India, I mean, there were a lot of films. And then there was this whole patch in the 80s where the female protagonist was only reduced to looking nice and being a supporting cast and knowing how to dance. And she unfortunately had a shelf life of 16 to 20. Tragically, she died very fast. And it was all of it. And somehow it was just hero oriented, but it's changing. And OTT has really opened horizons for not just actors, but for all kind of talent, whether it's writers or scripts or content or DOPs and everything. And they're ready to take the chance to tell real stories. On the OTT, it's not a hero and a heroine. They're characters. And every character is strong and holds its own. Also, it's not dependent on the box office collection. It's not dependent on the saleability of the star. It's not dependent on the weekend collections. You know, unfortunately, a film, even if it is good, if it doesn't do well on the first Friday or Saturday, the film is gone. But what is on OTT is for posterity. And yes, it's opened up horizons. And finally, I'm doing the kind of work I want to do, the kind of work I always desired.
All right, I'm going to let you guys go because I know that you have a bunch of things lined up after this as well. Shefali, I hope your throat holds up. But congratulations.
It is the screaming.
It's the screaming.
It's definitely the screaming.
Congratulations to all of you and to your team. I hope you get an opportunity to party and to like celebrate in spite of the year that we're in. And I hope you get many, many opportunities in your careers to do amazing things and top this on a regular basis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faye.
Thank you. Thanks for speaking with us. So that's the cast of Delhi Crime. Go back and watch it again, guys. You know, that's also the beauty of it sitting on Netflix there, available for us. It really is path-breaking and amazing. So congratulations to you guys and thank you for speaking.